Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Snuffed. We are here to recap another era of almost of the fucking Suitmans, the Shadowlands of Prestige Survivor. I am joined today by my trusty co-host, who has one stabbed me in the back in an org. Jason, how are you doing?
And I do it again for the win, or at least for final tribal counts.
And you didn't win, though, so how did that end up for you?
I know. You still voted for me. Anyways, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am just swell. How are you? I've been crashing out most of the week. However, I'm done crashing out, and we're good now. So, problem solved. No issues here.
And this cast, if you're listening postseason, buckle up. Nick is in a mood.
I almost spit out my water. I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, enough about that, though. We are also joined today by the fifth place finisher of season 1 of Prestige Survivor, the Amazon. Hi, Jose.
Hey, oh my God. That was so like red carpet. I love it. Okay.
Dress to the nines. I know that's right.
Right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm medicated. I'm listening to Charlie XCX. I got a water bottle right here. Like, I'm ready.
Oh my God, wait, what song are you listening to?
Good ones.
Oh, period. I've been like listening to Brat on repeat the past few days. Honestly, preparing for Pride Month as I should, and yeah, it's just a good time. But also, her like earlier music is in the show Overcompensating on Amazon Prime, and it's actually a really good fucking show. Anyway,
Oh my God, wait, what show?
It's called Overcompensating. It has Benito Skinner in it, and a bunch of like literally, he plays like an 18-year-old college student, which he's in his 30s, mind you, so God bless him. But an 18-year-old college student that like comes to this like kind of prestigious college. He's like trying to mask his sexuality and like appear masked still because he used to play football in like Idaho or some shit. So it's about him being in the closet and trying to like act overly straight to fit in and not be outed. It's so fucking good and funny. So it's on Amazon Prime.
Like this is our heart stopper. Like it is like brings back too many like memories of coming out as a millennial. I'm like, oh dear God.
And what time does it take place in?
It's like 2010s. It's like probably 2012, 2016, like that time, which like 2016
like Love
was
Simon vibes.
Love Simon vibes, but more mature and actually good.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, I ate up Love Simon at the time, but that was when I was like 18 and fresh out of the closet. Now I'm like,
it was definitely made by a straight man, I think.
It wasn't though.
Oh, well.
The actor was a straight man though, and you could tell. But anyway, point is,
right.
We're going to talk about the Shadowlands.
This is now an episode on overcompensating. Thank you for coming so much.
It's just an episode about queer media in general at this point. Here we are. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. We left off last episode talking about the beginning of swap number 2 this season. We lost Kyle, who was deeply confident in his ability to integrate well on his tribe and be set up nicely. So RIP to that fallen soldier. However, we're just going to talk generally about the swap because we've got a lot to cover today. Jose, in general, what did you make of the second swap? Do you feel like anybody in any of the 3 tribes was quote unquote swap screwed or not?
I don't know. I liked it. Like, I feel like with swaps, you can have like unfortunate and like, I guess, unfair circumstances. Like when it comes to like, I guess like tribal lines, like and stuff like that. But I think like a second swap, while we didn't have one, I don't think. Yeah, we didn't have one. Sorry. It really pushes people to be like more flexible. And for like swap screwed, I don't think anyone really was swap screwed. Like if you're looking at tribal lines, I guess I would say Vince, but he still made it to the merge. So I'm not really too sure if anyone got swap screwed per se.
Yeah. And the thing is too, it's like people want to say they're swap screwed, but I was like, were you swap screwed or did you just screw yourself?
Right.
Because there's a clear, distinct difference.
Because wasn't this captains or something like that? They like chose
Yeah.
And like I feel like because of the captains, there is an easy opportunity for there to be a swap screw, especially at the end. But like they all almost picked mostly down like tribal lines or at least ally lines. So I didn't
Yeah.
really feel like there was anybody swap screwed this second swap. There was a few I think that could have been quote unquote swap screwed in the first one, like Jason being by himself. Like there was those potentials, but I don't think this time we saw that. I think the biggest one here was like what was Taupo doing only picking Taupo?
Yeah, right. It was like full blue over there. I was like, okay, let's eat each other, you know?
And I think maybe they were so confident in winning these challenges because they hadn't gone to tribal council as a Taupo yet. And then as we saw, they lost too and had to like take each other out.
I was so happy.
No, the episode that they finally went to tribal, I think T-Specs as a collective cheer. That was the most unified I have ever seen T-Specs about a topic in a season in my entire time being on production. It was hilarious. Like, no shade to Taupo because there are several people on that tribe that I both enjoy as a player to watch and also recruited myself. So, like, no shade, but I'm like, oh, thank God. They needed.
I think we were more afraid of just like them comping out and not hitting tribal council once until merge. And good for them if they can do it, but we didn't cheer against anybody because even like when we got those tribal councils, it did kind of suck to lose those players, but they just needed to be tested. And we needed to know where their loyalties were.
Yeah, like ultimately, I think that it was fine. Like, I think that it was a very clear cut in terms of like what happened. Like with the boots for both episode 6 and 7 with Shep and Jamie going home. Jamie, I feel like started out really well. And then as time progressed, I believe he may have had something going on in his actual personal life, but I'm not sure about that. I hope everything's okay. But it was definitely unfortunate to see the fall off because I feel like they played in Suitman's previously, kind of went really early on, but like had potential to be good. And I think this season kind of had the same ailment, except they were inactive more so. And then Shep, I love Shep so much, and I played with him before in orgs, and he's stayed playing the same way. But were you guys shocked to see Shep or Jamie go home, or were you kind of more so like, yeah, that makes sense, that tracks? Jason, I'll start with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm sorry. But I was just gonna say not really. Whenever like from a T-Spec perspective, you know, you're getting the trust rankings and you may not be able to pop in all the time, but looking at the TRs, they were kind of always scraping the bottom half for like loose change in the TRs.
For loose change is crazy.
Like tire, like pre-merge. So whenever they went, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think there was any surprises there. I think, like, no disrespect, it almost felt like the pre-merge was more predictable. We lost a lot of the players that you just kind of expected or weren't integrating and socializing. Well, I guess having a great social game. But they kind of set us up for this merge where now you have the top of the trust rankings and like the people that came to play. And like we kind of predicted this in the last episode of Snuffed, is that yes, kind of loose change pre-merge, but it's going to come to a head here soon, and I'm excited for that part.
Right.
Yeah,
we saw some of it too already.
We live for it. I'm here for it personally. I think that like the pre-merge was definitely not what I had hoped in terms of like excitement with game. Like there was still some like good moments obviously, but like the actual tribals were predictable as to what was going to happen every single time. There was like no ambiguity. Like it was, they lost a challenge and they're like, well, we're voting out fucking Shima, or oh, Kyle's got to go. Meanwhile, Kyle's sitting here like, oh, I'm fucking eating this game up. He's in the final 16. They might as well hand me the check right now. Like, I mean, what are you talking about? You're 5 episodes into the season. I don't know what check you're getting, but it's not going to be a hefty one. Sorry to say, but and no shit to Kyle because I actually enjoyed Kyle as a player. But there was some delusion going on that episode, unfortunately, which is what happened. But anyway, Jason, would you care to talk about the first part of merge?
Absolutely. Jose, How did you feel about the merge happening before Takor Comeback Challenge? Did that timing kind of surprise you? Like, what were your thoughts on Takor and when that was gonna end or come to a conclusion?
I thought with like the main twist being to core that there would be at least like maybe like two returnees. So I was thinking maybe one was going to be like some point in the pre-merge and then and then one like right before the merge. So I was just like, okay, well, is it going to happen or did they forget about the twist? And then then you guys obviously started doing it, and I was like, okay, one round of merge before it, it gives someone a chance who might have been booted out due to unfair circumstances or maybe a bad impression in front of everybody to have a chance to come back. I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. I guess, Nick, what are your thoughts on that? I didn't know you thought of the twist or we thought of the twist together, but like, are you happy with the timing of the comeback challenge?
I stand on 10. No, I stand on 10 toes. The only thing that I would change as a whole, frankly, I think that this twist would have worked a lot better with either a different cast or with a returning cast. Because unfortunately, what we got with pre-merge was a lot of inactive players. There was a few, obviously, that, pre-merge, like John, for example. Shep was pretty active. Kyle was to a certain point. Issa was to a certain point. Obviously, Brooke ended up being on Takor. They were very vocal, as we know. So like it wasn't entirely like a wash, but I think it's a twist that's inherently cast dependent. So I think
I might have jumped the gun on the question.
Yeah,
we'll get a bit more into Takore. So I will move on because I know you're going to go into that a little bit more, but I have some thoughts that I'll circle around on that because before we get to Brooke, we had a challenge. We had the food chain challenge. Jose, were you around to watch that challenge go down live?
Yes, I did peep in and reading it, I was like, okay, this is really confusing, but I liked how
so real.
I was like, I liked how you basically got to pick your animal, even though you were just picking a number. I felt like that like kind of like put a little bit of agency in the player's hands rather than just, okay, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get this. I thought that was really good. And looking at the like results of it, I was like, multiple people can win immunity in this. Like, we should have had this on my season.
I was gonna ask, would you have enjoyed playing this in the Amazon?
Oh yeah, down.
It's so funny because and I'm gonna kind of break down into a moment here where like specifically Lav, if you're listening to this, complains about everything, every challenge, and just recently was like, oh, everything is luck based in this. Like, yes, there was luck on what you got in this like challenge and food chain, but then it comes down to social game and talking to people, and Lav
figuring out
literally threw his social game to the wolves by throwing out Jason's role in this challenge and just like not thinking twice. But oh no, it's all about luck, right, Lav?
Oh
like maybe think twice about your social game when you think of these challenges, because literally every one of the challenges that we've had, there is a component to communicating with the tribe to know things and make your best move.
Right.
And like that's what this challenge is so fun, is that like because I played this in my last season of Suitman's and got killed like immediately, but like I didn't communicate quick enough, so I'll take some responsibility on that. But like it's a fun challenge if you know what you're doing, and can't wait for it to come back. Because you're right, there's so many different like roles that you can get that if 6 people pass, then you get immunity. Nick, what are your thoughts on this challenge, and how do you think it played out this season?
Sorry. I am always a proponent of food chain. I enjoy it a lot, to be honest. I think it's fun. I also don't buy into it's just purely luck. Because there's not a singular challenge where it is purely luck. I mean, the auction probably is the closest thing. But even then, too, like you were allowed to specifically discuss what ones you were going for, or using what you knew about other players and what they're going for to try and fuck them over. So it wasn't entirely just like a luck-based thing where you had absolutely no agency and what you could possibly try and go for. Like, be
even
so
in that
for real.
auction, Lav literally picked the item that he felt or knew that was going to like, send him home and not have a say in the vote. Like where was the luck in that? Like you took yourself out of the vote for safety for yourself.
Right.
You quite literally said, "I'm going for this one. I have a lot going on tomorrow."
That was the high, right?
Like, you got what you wanted. You got the safety with that power. You didn't even have to write someone's name down. You got basically a free day off.
Right.
Why are you bitching about that one? If you're gonna bitch about one that actually mattered because you got what you wanted regardless. And so I'm just like, no, actually, you got what you wanted both times because you were immune the fucking food chain too. So why are you complaining so much about it? It makes no fucking sense.
What I find with this cast so far with those specific people is like, if you lose, that's the problem. The game is luck and it's not fair to you because you've lost the challenge. But when you win, love it. Great challenge. Keep it up.
No, and another thing is too, it's like I get if it was like a crucial round a bit more about the frustration, but this is the first part of merge. It's not like we're fucking luck in the final four immunity challenge.
Right.
Like, in what world? Like it's just I understand the frustration of being passionate and giving a shit about the game, which I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I do not vibe as much with like the constant complaining. And it's not just one person. It's been numerous throughout the season where I'm like, oh my God, help me. Like, if y'all can't read rules and reading comprehension, that's your problem, not mine. I'm just gonna say it. God bless.
It would be when y'all point out the rules and then they still keep complaining like as if it wasn't there. Like if you guys showed me the rules and I read it and I was like, oh, I might have missed that, I would have just felt embarrassed and probably just stopped replying.
And don't get us wrong, like we've all played this game so far. So every time I was preparing for a challenge, even I was like, oh, here we fucking go. I got to stop down. Everybody mute. I need to read. Like there's a lot to digest here. So taking some time to comprehend a challenge is not the problem.
Right.
It's the problem is like when you're immediately, before finishing even reading or comprehending, you're just bitching. Like digest it. We have to give as more information than you need in hopes that you actually do read, and then at least we can go back to those rules and be like, it's all laid out here. Like we have to do that. And as a host, I know a lot of these other people are hosts. Like they should know this.
Yeah, like
we'll have plenty more to talk about there. Before we get to Takora, there was one more player that had to go, and that ended up being Brooke. Jose, do you think they played well? And some people called their gameplay a little messy, and they complained, like in the T-Specs, complained a lot about the negativity. What's your take on Brooke and their gameplay?
For Brooke, Brooke was a very active player, so I did get to see a lot of confessionals. I know they were very close to like Dell. Like Brooke's game, I would say was public in a way because like he was always closely associated with Dell, and I think that didn't really work in his favor or their favor as much as it should have. And the negativity, it just gets to a point. Like, are you having fun?
No, and this is the thing too. I just want to hold people when like it gets to like this extreme. Like like I said, I get being enthusiastic and passionate about the game and caring about how you do. Valid, whatever. However, y'all know this is not for a monetary prize, right?
Right.
You get a gold title in your name on the server. That's it. Like I mean, and bragging rights, I guess. But like, there's no money that that's being taken out of your pocket for this. So does the crash out match the actual stake? No, it doesn't. But like I think that I've played with them before. I think that they kind of have always been kind of like an early to mid merge boot. If like they get clocked early, sometimes they play well and their social game takes them to the end. But like, I think they just kind of played very vocally and did not mince words, which wasn't necessarily a good thing because a lot of people were like, I don't trust that. But that's their problem, not mine. So I don't know.
I agree.
Jason?
I was like, no. Brooke. I don't know. They went out in a blaze of glory. It was almost a unanimous vote. I don't know if they expected Brooke to challenge people to come back, but they, at the end of the day, didn't really bring much to the T-Specs other than constant complaining. So as a producer of the season, I was like, I was low-key happy to see Brooke A go and then B lose. Fair and square. So I don't know. I have nothing else to say about Brooke. It was just they made it very difficult for production. And it's a game. Like, we literally do this on our spare time and have full-time jobs, and they're doing this for fun. And then
Right.
People just like Brooke just tear us all down, and all the work that goes into this. And for what?
Right.
9th, 10th place, whatever place they finished in.
14th.
But anyway.
No, sorry.
No, not
14th.
even.
It's 14th, yeah.
Yeah, 14th because of the battle back. Knocked them down. Good. Sorry, continue. Nick, can you take it away with the Takore twist?
Yeah. So, Jose, were you around at all when the actual returning challenge was taking place?
Yes. I had my faves I was rooting for.
Okay, so first and foremost, if you were in their shoes and you see me post that long ass challenge with those rules, what is your first impression?
Oh, it's gonna be an afternoon, but
It's gonna be an afternoon.
but I don't know. Like, I feel like if I just fought my way, checking in with the endurance challenges, like, I'm obviously gonna be like head over heels for the challenge. Like, especially with the one I liked how it was like 7 different categories, like different aspects of like what you knew got tested, and I liked that aspect of it. And I think it kind of gave everyone like a even playing field in that way.
Yeah,
I think
I feel like you would have ate too, okay, but who's to say?
Jack truly outdid himself in this challenge. Like,
yeah,
hats off to Jack for putting together the bot that made this so easy for them to do at their own pace, at their own time. They had 24 hours to complete all of it, so they didn't have to do it. Like, it wasn't a time challenge where it was the fastest. It was really based on each of the categories and what those rules were. And like, Issa at one point stopped, but they had the opportunity to come back and it wouldn't have ruined the game. So hats off to the incredible challenge that he put together for this comeback. And it was, like you said, it felt like it was daunting to read, but when you saw the execution of it, it was great. Loved it.
It was, Jack really Jack ate it up. Because it was, I think, back in March at that point when we went to Jack and we're like, yeah, we're gonna need you to really craft, because Jack is usually the one that is really challenge design. Jason also designed a challenge this season, which was incredible too. Wordplay was also probably my favorite challenge this season pre-merge. But
oh my god, I did love wordplay.
Yeah, Jason's the one that kind of brought that one to Prestige Survivor. So praise Jason for it, please. But yeah,
it was super simple, but it was fun to actually. It was actually worked really well with the Semi Live. I thought that was really great. How about that?
Yeah, that's one that with Semi Live, it works perfectly. And so so Jack, he ate it up entirely. But a few rapid fire-esque questions for you, Jose. Who are you hoping to see return from the core?
Honestly, John. Honestly, no one from T-Specs and no one from production cannot say John did not want it more than anyone there. And I'm going to stand on that. John was in that confessional almost every other day, giving his ideas. He was probably the most active Takori member, I would say.
Easily. Yes. I think it's absolutely valid. And obviously, I'm not going to comment too much as a favoritism thing from production standpoint, but I think John gave the most in terms of content, energy, passion about it. So it was definitely a bummer to not see him re-enter. However, what I will say about it is obviously John got the Shadows passage advantage, which allowed him to name somebody that, in the event that John won the challenge, to bring back to the game with him. And he picked Mads, who exited the game, which, I mean, there could have been valid reasons. However, there's been speculation also that there was a separate org that Mads is playing in, and that's why Mads quit. Or not quit, but like basically encouraged to be voted out. So it's like encouraging to be voted out and then like coming back and being like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it for now. It's like, huh? What do you mean? Where was this energy before?
You know what's wild though about that? Like, not even that he picked Mads. Like, yes, that was not great, as like Mads really didn't give the T-Specs much to go off of. So like I was kind of rooting against John only for that one part. But like but Mads also didn't do the challenge. Like there was literally a part of the challenge that would have benefited John if you did, and that was the social component of the game. And you didn't even do that one part of the challenge. So like you were clearly thinking by not competing, you were going to give John the better chance. But if you actually read all of the segment or the categories, like there were certain categories that could have helped propel John to that victory and would have brought you back. And instead you just didn't do it. So not only did you ask to quit the game, or not ask to be voted out of the game, you then kind of laid back. You still did the challenge or like the task that we were asking. So you were still present to still have that opportunity, but then you just kind of gave up again. Like it was weird.
It's back. Yeah.
Like you doubled down on giving up and didn't love that. And I think you hurt John.
I think that's valid. 100%. So we kind of talked about this briefly a little bit so far, but what were your thoughts on 3 people competing? And I'll start with Jose on this question because I feel like Jason and I have already discussed this publicly. But Jose, thoughts?
I feel like that's just ridiculous. Like if you all did the endurance challenge, why all of a sudden are we gonna drop everything and not even do the final challenge? Like y'all just wasted your time. Y'all wasted like a good week of your time doing that challenge.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like why at that point, why didn't you just fucking be like, I'm not doing this shit? Chloe and Shima both let the fucking time toll and called it a goddamn day. Right. And that's all. Like, which, you know, I'm not mad about, you know, shit happens. For those two, like Issa is the only one that like had kind of a valid reason. Like, which I'm not mad at Issa for anything. Like that was horrible, and I'm
hearts up to him,
extending all of my condolences to him and that whole situation. So, Kyle, I think also mentioned that he had like a real life shit too. But I'm just like, there was like Jamie and Mads. I'm like, what are y'all doing? But what was it about?
The time, and you also had like, you put on all the effort to get to that point. But then in that 24 hours, you also had the time to communicate that to us that shit was going down and you weren't going to get to it. Instead, you just ghosted the challenge.
Right.
So like the disrespect to Jack, I would say more than anything, for putting this incredible challenge together that required so many people just not showing up and not doing it. Like that was so disrespectful, in my opinion. And like, no, I think Issa was the only one that I give the free pass to, because that was so immediate and happened in the moment, and like that I can empathize with. But the others just not competing, and some of them, they made the choice to not compete, which compete and do horrible in hopes that like John does win and bring you back, but just at least do it.
Because then you get like 2 times the chance. You get like your own chance like without John, and then you have John if John wins. Like I don't see the benefit of not trying.
And I also don't know why, like, I actually give Shep a bit of credit here, because as soon as that twist was announced that John found the Shadows Passage advantage to bring somebody back, like, Shep immediately was like, I have an extra vote.
Right.
Do you want to pick me? You have an extra vote. And, like, John did not give that the time it needed to process, because that could have been so beneficial.
No, the way that Shep really said, was waving his fucking cards around. Here you go. Take it now. Good luck. So, speaking of Shep, were you guys happy to see Shep return to the game?
Jose?
The quietness.
I was okay with it. Um, I would have preferred somebody else, but I was definitely okay with it. Question mark.
Question
Yeah.
mark. It's
No
giving
shade to
gowns, beautiful
Shep,
gowns. Yeah.
or little shade to Shep. Um, you did it. You made your way back, and then you had, and they gave us a nice confessional, being apologetic for not being active, and they hate to be this person. But then, why are you still that person?
Right.
Yeah.
No
Like, I
effort
know
in
I'm going a
changing.
little bit ahead, but like, don't give us that and be apologetic. And I appreciate that. Really, I really do. But then hopefully that would be the catalyst to change. And so far, we're just kind of getting the exact same Shep right now. And I know I've seen Shep play in many other orgs because I watch, like, I spectate Nick when he plays, but I've
Yeah.
seen them play with you. And like, this isn't the Shep that I saw in the other orgs. And I
Yes,
was
correct.
kind of just expecting more. So like when they got the second chance, I was actually kind of happy for them, but then
Mhm.
they've kind of been giving us loose change still.
Right.
Pennies, if you will. No, like my whole thing is like I obviously like was like Shep, come back, come back, come back. And like he's also mentioned to me before too that like he's kind of treating this one as like his last org for a while. Because he's just too busy. Like he's an attorney in real life. Like Shep and I bonded about like being in law school at the same time and taking the bar at the same time and all that. So like I've known Shep for a few years. I know what he's capable of as a game player. Like he is a good player. I don't know if he has the actual correct amount of time to be doing this season in terms of like availability. Because being an attorney, especially a prosecutor, is a lot of work and a lot of time. So I'm hoping that like he lasts long enough to where he's able to turn it around and really kind of do a comeback and increase the social game. But so far, no, I'm not seeing a lot. The one thing I will say that's hilarious, not directly about Shep, but Shep sending Fifi a 6-minute voice note, and she was like, "What the fuck?" Like Fifi was so fucking. She's like, "Why the fuck did he send me a 6-minute voice note?" That shit is funny. If someone sent me a 6-minute voice note in Oregon, I'm like, I'm not listening to all that.
I'd be like, listen when I'm cooking or something. Not right now.
No, I was like, does someone have Scripty? Because I don't have time for this right now. Like, especially like because we don't have Scripty in Prestige yet. So like, especially when in that context, it's like, I don't have the time for all this. I'm working. I can't be sitting here in my office listening to some person talk nonsense about gaming. My coworkers being like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's no time for that. But I mean, I was happy to see Shep return over certain people that like were maybe less active, but you know,
Right, he
it was
wasn't
what
like
it
the
was.
worst returnee, yeah.
Correct. So we did like Jack announced the results. Um, Brooke fell short. And we saw
An epic collapse.
we saw a response. We saw a response. Um, J- Jason, what was your fucking reaction?
I don't like it was more just anger because I'm like, Jack put all of this work into this challenge, and Brooke is actually, I believe, a friend of Jack's, and
Yes.
just like pour into production. I'm like, everything was at a disadvantage because they were the last member to like join to Core. Like just literally the way that the results were read because half the cast didn't compete, like just everything. And no matter what it was, like no matter what our responses were, which if we eliminated the people who didn't attempt the challenge, they still would have lost.
Yeah.
If like, there was no advantage because like if you get yourself in there, you have the social, like there's so many other advantages that you get for making it that far into the game. No matter what it was, there was no consoling Brooke, and there was no way we could at that. Like it got me to a point where I just like don't even talk to them. Like let them get it all out and don't even converse because it's just going to kind of add fuel to their fire. It was exhausting. It was just an exhausting afternoon, especially after all of that time that Jack put into it. We didn't think like none of us could have predicted that no, like 3 people were going to compete in this challenge because everybody did hours upon hours of the Void's Echo to get to this point, just to not compete. Like that, none of us could have predicted that.
Mhm.
And Jack did the reveal exactly how the reveal should have been done. And if we eliminated those players for not even participating, because they all checked in, they just didn't end up doing the challenge or completing the challenge. Like if he had still eliminated them, Brooks, the placement would have been the same. So I don't know. Like it was exhausting. How did you take it, Nick?
I mean, the funniest part to me is that because like they were suggesting about like not taking into account anyone else's scores and all that, but even then, if they didn't take into account anybody else that didn't participate's stuff, Shep was still winning regardless.
Yeah.
Brooke still wasn't returning regardless. So I'm like, either way, you lost. You just lost flat out. And then like even then trying to like discuss and like explain like why the rules are the way they are, it was just not there. And then additionally, this throughout the season there was just constant complaining, and I was just like, oh my god, like it's really not that deep.
Right.
And there was like no really like game defying errors either that would have like warranted like such a crash out, if you will, like because ultimately the results were not going to change into core regardless. And it's like, I'm not trying to come across as mean when I say this, but like maybe just play better. I don't know. So you wouldn't be voted out. Like, so you wouldn't be voted out in the first place. I don't know. Like, it's like a very difficult spot to like be in. It's like, on one hand, I can appreciate the enthusiasm and the really big upset about being out. But on the other hand, I'm like, when production already explains the exact reason as to why you lost and it still isn't satisfactory for you, I don't know what else you want us to say. I don't know. Play better.
Right.
Like
obviously Nick and I are on production, so we are very like close to that, and like we're a bit like more defensive, I guess, in a way of what we do. From a T-Spec point of view, Jose, like how did you see this all shake out, and what were your thoughts?
I mean, I was kind of like understanding where he was coming from until you guys had explained that even if they were eliminated, he still would have lost fair and square. At that point, I would just be like, oh, okay, okay. But then he just kept going and going, and I was just like, okay, he's no longer complaining, he's just venting, I feel like. And you can't talk to someone who's venting because they're just getting it out, like Jason said. And
yeah,
it is a little disrespectful to me. I don't know. It was just like, well, you guys blah 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 do this blah 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 blah. And I think he even did he say something about like rigging or something? Or did I make that up?
I don't think there's anything about
they thought of
rigging. Just talking about like how it's like this completely soured the whole experience and that it wasn't fair.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
It was that, and that it wasn't fair because he just came back from being voted out, or was just getting there from being voted out. And it's not fair because they didn't even get a chance to like look at the board and all this or guess on the board. And it's like, yeah, these people got voted out way earlier. So if anything, they had less time to build social relationships with players in the game, whereas you had 8 episodes.
Right.
And additionally, too, it's like even if you happen to find something on the board while you're in the game, if you were to return, you would still have that. So it's like,
that's the thing. Like John found an advantage. John found an advantage that unleashed something into the game. So John didn't find like the extra vote. He unleashed the extra vote into the game, which Shep found. Brooke could have easily found it as well. So like they would have actually had more opportunities to find better advantages. All John found was the unleashing of that with a challenge advantage, and then he got the passage to bring somebody back if they won. So like, yes, the challenge advantage for sure was helpful, but really, Brooke, I'm not gonna say like it's their fault for not finding something on the board. There's a lot of like luck that comes into that, like any survivor. But John didn't have the opportunity to find extra votes and find these game-changing advantages. So I don't know. I'm over it.
Yeah, no, I just have, frankly, no more oxygen to give to it. But question for Jose: if you were in Shep's shoes, how would you approach your return to the game?
Well, I really liked how it was like it was what was it? It was like a term, rotating door immunity or whatever. Like you got immunity once you won the returnee challenge so that you weren't just voted right back out. I would have definitely just socialized like down boots. Like I would have just been in people's DMs like, "Oh my God, how was your day? Oh my God, your mom's name is Carolyn. Like, how is she doing?" Like I would be literally like rubbing people's feet, like just to make sure like I'm not the boot after I lose this immunity because I know like when people return, it's kind of just like, oh, let's get them out. They were already a pre-merge boot. They don't deserve to be here. Like there's a lot of like deserve, deserve, deserve. Girl, they won the challenge. Like they're back in. Like you're gonna have to work around it. Um, and yeah, I would just try to reconnect with the people that at least one or two people that I worked with before, but I would definitely have a vengeance for the people who voted me out.
Oh yeah, no, I'd be putting
that.
curses and hexes on the bitch.
Right.
And then I'd be like, nope, I got the voodoo doll ready to go. Like we're playing the game now.
Right.
But what was your overall final impression of Takor?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think the players in the pre-merge, like you could definitely tell that they were playing in mind of Takore as a whole. And it was interesting to see like what their thought processes were in the confessionals, like versus what they were going to be doing, what they would have done if Takore didn't exist. I can't remember who, but there was like one person who would like explicitly state it. But yeah, I overall liked it. I think it was a really good twist. I wish we would have had it on our season. I think it would have been a lot more drama and maybe some people would have not been as in power positions as they were. No shade to my beloved Henry, but
oh, you ate that up. Okay. Jason, care to talk about the merge?
Yes, let's get into it. The merge now. I guess merge post Takore. Shep is back. And Takore we do put to rest, which I guess like the last thing I'm gonna say about Takore is I totally lost my train of thought. But as like the producer, and like we put this thing in there, like it was so demoralizing to see the cast not complete, I guess the whole group not compete in it. And I think and it was like we could not have predicted that. They worked so hard to get to that point. Mm-hmm. I think the whole challenge itself or the whole twist itself worked really well because like what you just said there, Jose, like they were all constantly thinking about it. It was always on their mind because the number of times that the cast was like trying to predict what was going to happen and we're always so incredibly wrong. But it was great. Like, it just had their mind on it at all times. And I think that worked out really well. It did maybe lead towards a few like boring boots of just like pile on votes, knowing that they were going to go. But at least they were thinking about it. It was constantly on their mind. And I think that is a win. I do think it would have worked. It would work better with a returning cast. I think they'd all compete in the challenge at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But again, there was no way we could have predicted that. So like, I don't think, Nick, kind of curious about your thoughts before we get into post Takore. Like, are you happy overall with bringing it back and bringing it into the Prestige universe?
I mean, yeah, like I still stand by like the decision to do it. I just think, like I said, it would have worked better with a different cast, probably a returning cast especially. But I think even the Amazon's cast probably there would have been more stakes because Shep returning.
Nobody was coming back other than Brian, and we all know
that. Right.
Which would have been good. But,
it would have been.
But yeah, I think like overall it would have been more interesting to see with a different cast. But like I still stand by it, and I still enjoy it. Like I think it was still fun enough. Like I said, I wish it was a different cast that had it because obviously. There wasn't.
Did you just yawn mid podcast?
I have literally been waking up at 5 a.m. every fucking day of the week. I don't want to hear it from you. It's not you that's boring me. I'm exhausted. But anyway, Hey, you are not boring me. Actually, I'm enjoying myself quite a lot. So fuck you. But yeah, like I think it's definitely something that should have been with a different cast, ideally. But overall, there were still shining moments. So it's not a wash. So I still stand by it. But Jason, talk.
And there was a few items that were not found.
Oh yeah.
So we're not going to
Oh,
talk about it because I think they have potential to come back in future seasons.
True.
oh,
But
right.
I do think like the one, I guess, negative about Decoria was not everybody searched the board, which was kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
disappointing. They all did the task, but they couldn't find the 1 second to actually put in a submission or communicate their guesses, except for John, who was doing a really great job of finding stuff. But like there were some things that were left on the board, and hopefully we'll see those in the future because we put a lot of effort into putting them together. But
Right.
it's the thing I do like about this board. I know a lot of like T specs are like, oh, there should be more advantages, which I don't know. This just feels more authentic to me of them finding it. But
Yeah.
anyways, in the merge,
The
Jose, we
merge!
introduced the auction this season. Did anything about the auction surprise you? And do you think the auction ended up shifting the gameplay in any way?
Um, I whenever I saw the auction, whenever I saw the items being revealed, I was like, okay, rice work, okay, right, poncho, and then it was like a lot of covered items, and then like it was like it felt like more Survivor-y in like the atmosphere of where the like how it was presented. I liked the whole like component of you basically if you guess the same amount as somebody else, you're going to be fighting for that item essentially in a like a little randomizer. So like Jason said, it was like more of like a social kind of thing where you could kind of
Uh-huh.
communicate with where everyone was going. I wouldn't say anything about it really surprised me. Thrasher winning immunity was really nice.
Ooh.
Um, but I don't know about the auction really shifting any gameplay. I know we saw Lav go to the eye, and was safe for that round, but was he gonna be a target that round or anything like that? I don't know. He's pretty high on trust rankings right now. I don't know if that would have really been something that would have been in play. But yeah.
Nick?
I mean, I enjoyed it, obviously. I was like, obviously, a proponent of the auction being a part of the season. I stand by it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, despite the bitching from Vince and later Lav. Um, like, a fucking poncho. Like, girl, there is like every org I've ever seen do an auction is always having like a gag thing that has absolutely no power. Calm down.
Right.
It is
It was
literally
wild to me the backlash that we got on something so simple and fun.
right.
And like if you had just read into it, and like there's ways that you can read into the items and the names that we put in there that is a benefit, like a pro and a con. So like
Uh-huh.
no, like totally understand that they wouldn't know exactly where it was, but like you're only mad because it was a gag. If you that was like protection and you won immunity, which is probably what Vince thought, and you were
Right.
wrong because it was somebody else's item, like that's the part of the game. Like, don't get mad at the game. You just got the gag gift. It wasn't what you thought it was. Like, move on, play the game, focus on your social game and instead of bitching at production because it wasn't how you wanted it to work out.
No, exactly.
We can't all have idols.
Yeah.
We could, but we won't.
I will admit,
Right.
like, I was a little skeptical of the auction because I've never seen it in like an org before. But like the thing I did enjoy about it was that it did bring some advantages into play where the board is sometimes harder if you're not communicating correctly with your alliances and you're picking the exact same spots over and over again, which everybody seems to be doing for some reason. At least the auction kind of brought some advantages into the game right away. So now like I enjoyed that part where it wasn't about luck on the board. It was just here's some advantages into the game. And not too advantage heavy either, because I don't want us to become game changers and somebody gets surreed every single season.
Right.
So I liked it. Good job on that one, Mac.
Thanks. Much appreciated.
I liked it a lot too.
Thank you.
Moving along. Fifi has kind of stepped into the spotlight post-merge. Jose, are you enjoying watching Fifi's rise, and do you see her making a good run of this game?
Yes. Oh my God. I love Bibi, her confessionals and like just the way she interacts in her alliance chats, like the way she types, like she's just so like mother to me. Like just she just exudes mother energy. And girl, 3 immunity wins. Like, come on. Of course she's in the spotlight. Like she just and then like you said, like I think Jason, you said challenges, like the challenges this season really take like social ability. And then you look at Fifi and she's like third on the trust rankings right now. And I think that's just like her having 3 immunities is a testament to her social abilities as well as comp ability. And I just think she's spectacular. I love Fifi, 10 out of 10, 5 stars.
I could not agree more. Like I feel like her 3 wins, like the only time she hasn't been immune so far this season was the auction, and that one there was way more luck involved than the other 3. The other 3 were very social. If you played it correctly and you knew what people were doing, like you would put yourself in a better position, and that's exactly what Fifi did. Nick, what are your thoughts on Fifi's rise so far?
Oh, I love her. I fucking love Fifi. I am on production for John Viber, which is a different server, and I've hosted Fifi and got like asked her to fly this season, and she did. And I'm so fucking glad that Fifi did. My only thing about Fifi that I will ever say that is questionable is, girl, stop doing the confessionals while you drive. That was the only thing her eyes stay on that damn phone and not the road. I'm like, Fifi, girl, what are you doing? But anyway, I live for Fifi.
Do either of you think Fifi has do you think Fifi can win this game?
Potentially. I think that I fear that she could be sniped this round with the twin urns. I think that people are starting to kind of get a bit grumbly about, I'm tired of Fifi running things essentially, which I would be too, obviously, as a game player. But so I think it's possible. She does seem to be good at misting people for sure.
Yeah, I think she's in the spotlight, and I think that is definitely a bad thing for her right now, especially like in an immunity streak kind of thing, because Mr. Tim Riggins, everyone knew he was winning the immunity challenge, and no one was. It was a worthless fight. Like you weren't gonna win, and I think if he had lost earlier, people would have definitely gone for him a lot more. But I know I wasn't at the time. But I don't know. I just feel like her immunity streak and just her being really well insulated is going to catch up to her really soon. And I fear that for her.
I fear that for her, period.
Fifi's been great. I think Fifi's hilarious because she's so like blunt sometimes, and I'm like, how the hell is she getting away with it? Like,
I know.
Vince is blunt, and like immediately people are like, I hate Vince. Fifi's blunt, and they're like, oh, mother, love her.
Well,
let's give her immunity. Let's give her immunity. Go, queen. But like, it's so funny, and I love that she's getting away with it. But I feel like she's in such a good spot too, because she's got Jason and Topher on her side right now, but everybody is clocking them. And like, I guess they haven't had a chance to vote out Fifi yet because she keeps winning. But like, I feel like she's got some people that are bigger targets around her, or at least the people on the other side have more dislike of the others than her.
Right.
So I do think she's in a good spot, but I think Jose has a good point. Like with the twin urn, this could be an opportunity for a surprise, and that could be Fifi. We will find out soon if Fifi's social game can again kind of help out with this touchy subjects.
Touchy subjects.
Mm-hmm.
Moving to the next one, Kyler. So Kyler had a really strong pregame. Like number one in most people's trust rankings, was doing so phenomenally. But now he finds himself as the king of Ponderosa. What do you think went wrong for Kyler, and how do you feel he played overall in this season? Jose?
I mean, number one on trust rankings does not lie. He was pretty much number one on every single tribe, and then only hit like number two, I think, once. And then episode eight hit, and I really wasn't like following along. Maybe at that point, I don't know what happened. No, episode nine. It was episode nine.
Yeah.
Girl, he just dropped like to sixth or seventh, like in the bottom half. I was like, what happened? I really don't know. I thought he had it, but
I think the problem was that because he's played before, he tends to play a bit more safe and more passive. I was incredibly impressed with him this season, period. However, the one thing I will say is that out of nowhere, he decided to be chaotic and be a leaky motherfucker. And if there's one thing, if you're going to be a leaky motherfucker, you have to be ready to like cover your ass, take the consequences, be aware to pivot quickly. And he just got caught in the crosshairs and was like, "Oh, it's fine. Like I can sit here and stir this shit up and keep my hands dry and no issues, no problems." But no, sadly, he ran his mouth a little too much and got caught. But I love Kyler.
It was a very similar. I shouldn't say very similar. It was like there was kind of some similarities to his heroes versus villains on Suitman's, where in a decent spot, not really in the spotlight, and then instantly like does this Hail Mary that actually puts the target on him and not the person he intended. So like it was weird because I thought he was in a good spot with Anna. Like Anna was gonna always kind of be the shield for Kyler, and then Kyler was just like, "Nah, I got this. Like, let me try something because my social game is so good right now." And then it backfired so hard. And one of the like, we'll have to study this in school on like Kyler's fall from grace.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking. It really is.
And like the one thing though that I love about Kyler is like massive fall was so incredible after getting voted out. Like just humble, like, so excited that they got to play. Like that is like they made it worth it after the last few people that got voted out. Like Kyler, you're king. Love ya.
Oh, no notes from me from Kyler.
Moving on after Kyler, it seems like there's been a bit of a showdown between Jason and Vince. What did you make of all of that tension between the two of them? And was there a specific side that you wanted to see prevail? Jose.
Oh, honestly, I lived for any of the fights, especially like I was just like, okay, y'all better work because, but I just thought it was entertaining. I really lived for it, and I was honestly on Jason's side. I don't know. I feel like I just live for the campiness of it all from Jason, and he can do no wrong in my eyes.
Jason does like just paint an incredible picture in their confessionals that it's so hard to root against them. So I see what you're saying. Nick, what were your thoughts on the Jason v. Vince of it all?
I fucking loved the Jason v. Vince feud. There's nothing quite like two of the oldest people in the cast. Like it's giving like, oh god, I'm trying to think of someone to compare it to, but it's just so fucking good. It's like Jerry and Rennie on Big Brother 10. It's that level of good. Of like just two old bitches fighting left and right, period. But no, like I think Vince they were just having a pissing contest about who could be like the bigger personality, bigger like goofball in front of everybody. And it's like, girl.
The ego contest.
Yeah, I'm like.
I mean, I definitely felt more like on one side it was more poking the bear, and the other side being just angry old man.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I just because like Jason is a favorite right now. Like I don't know if I'm just seeing it out of the rose-colored glasses, but it just seemed like Vince was taking it very seriously when Jason's like you said, campy about this whole thing, and like I'm just gonna have fun with this.
Right.
You said, wait a damn minute. Hold on now. Let him cook. Let him cook. But no,
sorry, continue.
No, I was just saying, it's so good. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. So Jason ends up winning the showdown when Anna blindsided Jason by voting out his own arch nemesis. Do you think this was the game-changing blindside that Anna thought it was?
No.
Jose?
Well, given that she went out right after him, um, uh, and then Vince's reception of her was a little weird to watch. As soon as she got there, he was just like, "Well, I don't know what you expected." I was just like, "Okay, well, let her process." Like, but I don't know. I think for Anna, maybe it wasn't game changing because it literally just took the floor out from under her. Well, not really, but she went out next is what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I think for the game itself, Vince was definitely a very vocal player. Um, and I think if he were to stay longer, he definitely would have caused something eventually, more than he already had at that time. So I don't know, maybe yeah, I think it was game changing.
It was
Vince,
definitely game changing. I just don't know if it was a game changing move for Anna. Like
Right.
obviously
it
she
was
was
not.
next, but even in the moment, Jason and Topher were so confused. They're like, cool, you blindsided me by taking out somebody we both wanted to leave. And actually suggested and you said no. And then you did it anyway. Like, how is that a blindside? Like, yes, you
Right.
blindsided them by surprising them, but you voted out somebody they wanted. So how's that helping you long term other than you've kind of pissed them off by not by doing what they didn't want, but it's what they wanted. Like it made no sense.
Yeah,
And
being
I
sneaky
love
about
Anna,
it.
and I just didn't get that move and how they took it as such a victory afterwards. Like a blindside for a blindside isn't always the right blindside.
Right.
Nick, what
No,
are your thoughts on the game-changing blindside?
it was so fucking unnecessary. I'm sorry, but why would you sit there? Like, someone's already kind of low key a social pariah. Why would you not try to like rope them in as a vote, at least for a round or two? Like, it just it doesn't make any sense to me. On Anna's end, and I love Anna Down, and she was one of my favorites this season, to be honest. Vince had a really good villain arc in general. Um, became more of a villain because he was acting like Karen, to be honest with you. But towards the tail end of it, about the bitching and moaning, and I'm like, I love Vince outside of the game, but I was like, towards the end, I was like, you simmer down. You're talking too loud right now about nonsense. Just have a seat, buddy. It's okay. It's a game with no prize, like I said before. But Vince was a good villain for sure. I don't know why he was coming in so hot with Anna afterwards. I'm like, you still lost though, right? Like nothing's changing about that. Like you're still on the jury. Like
Right.
you're still juror number 2 in 12th place. Like I don't know, but I don't think it was it was a game changing move for Anna in the sense that it sent her ass home the next time.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love Anna. I love Anna Down. I love Anna Down. I love Vince. I think that he was a good personality, and I would rather have
Okay.
someone be a villainous personality than not a personality at all. So I'll give him praise on that.
But you know
However,
what's weird about the Vince of it all is that like I feel like our confessionals are now like now that Vince is on Ponderosa like is giving us more game confessionals than he did in the game.
I know.
In the
Right.
confessionals from Vince in the game was just bitching about how he didn't like the challenge. But now
No,
we're
it was
getting
like,
game, and I'm like, now I don't need game, baby. Like,
yeah. Now I need your bitchy
your game
comments
is
about who's
done.
left. Yeah. Like, what game do you have left to play, my love? Like, where are we at here?
Like, where
Like,
was this in the game? Like, come on, Vince.
girl, come on. Like, but yeah, like, I mean, it was certainly a move. I'll say that much.
It was a move that was made
Right.
that led to Anna falling next, which we've talked a lot about Anna. So, like, Jose, what do you think is the best move for Tristan and Lav moving forward? They just lost two of the number ones in Kyler and Anna. What is their best move to stay in this game?
I mean, they were really, really close with Anna, and I love Tristan, but when one mother falls, you gotta find the next one. Like they have to be adopted by another mother and just be protected. Like I fear for them. I'm scared, and I don't think it's really good for them at all. And I don't see them. Well, maybe Lav, but I don't see Tristan making it much further. And if he does, ooh, I don't want to say that. That might sound shady. And
No, go ahead. We love shade.
if he
Yeah,
does,
we do love Shady.
I think it might just be because people don't take him as seriously as some of the other characters in the game right now. But I don't know. I live for him. He gives me like assistant manager, stoner vibes, like mixed with like just fruity gay. I live.
This is like the most respectful shade I've ever heard on this podcast.
He's
So
giving like
great work. Great work.
But
Nick, what are
yeah,
your thoughts on like their best move forward is?
They need to lay low, but also try to find a way to integrate into the cracks. There are already cracks forming, the people being like, I don't want Fifi to be in charge anymore. And say, okay, then stop voting with her.
right.
What is so hard about it then? Damn. But anyway, they need to figure out what the cracks are. They, as Jose said, need to attach themselves to a new mother. Maybe Dell. Maybe Dell would be a mother.
I was just going to say, I was like, it's weird because Lav is clocking Dell as the like, oh, she's playing in the middle of the game. I think their biggest mistake is getting Dell out right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
I feel like the naysayers or whatever they're called, like they are actually pretty strong. So if Lav and Tristan think getting Dell out now, who is potentially their only saving grace, I think they're signing their own death certificate in this game.
Yeah.
Death certificate is crazy.
Submitted to the court ASAP.
So like if they can find new mother Dell, like attach yourself. Like you need something. And if they're so blind to see that Fifi, Jason, Topher are not working together, like they're gonna find themselves on the jury very quick.
That's what I liked about this last round. Like the vote was kind of like split into two sides. And I think if they can pick a side and they can take people from the middle, then they can go further. But if they're aiming for Dell, it's a chop.
It's a chop.
That will literally set this finale up to be quite boring, I think. Until they start to like eat themselves. Because like Fifi, Jason, Topher are still three very big personalities. But yes, good luck to those two. Oh, good luck more to Tristan. Anyways, this episode, Touchy Subjects and Twin Urn Tribals were just announced. Jose, how excited are you to see the chaos ensue with the Twin Urns and the challenge? And who do you think is going to be going home?
Well, with Touchy Subjects, that was already a mess on my season. And it essentially amounted to nothing after some really swift damage control. But I really hope that that's not the case here. And I hope that if there is chaos stirred by some of the answers or anything like that, that it comes out soon. And then who I think will go home, I think Fifi might be in trouble if she don't have immunity. And I don't want to put that in the air, but it's just what's on my mind right now. But I think this is, if anything, the round to make a move. Like with a twin urn, you can literally have maybe one vote in one urn, if I'm not mistaken, and that'd be the only vote in there, and that person goes home. Like this is the chance to really change up the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It's also a very easy way to lose the game.
Right.
Like, yeah. Nick, what are your thoughts?
I love Touchy Subjects as a con. Like, I think it's always so fucking messy because I always answer it genuinely as what I think, even though that's not necessarily the best way to do it because I'm just a fucking rotten bitch sometimes. But I like played it recently in an org and I actually won the comp for it. But I enjoy it. I think it's so fun. It always makes somebody spiral for no reason. So I'm excited to see who spirals. I love the twin urn tribal too. I have made it through before completely unscathed with no votes against me. I'm hoping that certain mothers can do the same, especially. But yeah, I really want like the Fifi and Dell like rise of beef to like really happen eventually soon. But like I want them both to make it deep enough into the game to where it's like a really good rivalry. I need that to happen. Period.
Right, like the Rachel Genevieve of it all.
No, exactly. Oh, you get it. You get it. But do you think that you would have survived the twin urn in the Amazon, Jose?
Oh, Boots. It was like what, Final 10? It's like Final 10 right now. Yeah. Yeah. It was like there was Scott in the game, there was Pixie in the game. I was surviving, especially on a wide scale. Like I think the only reason I was even like a talk is because there was like 5 people in that tribal, and they were well connected with each other. Like I think on a wider scale, I would not have come up at all. Like I think I was good.
You said Scott was there, Pixie was there,
Easy Boots.
Sammy was
The
there.
10th and 9th placers. Like we could just have a redo.
Not a redo, bitch. Okay, Jason, proceed.
I mean, I do think that this is an opportunity to see somebody go from both sides, but
Yeah.
the twin urns is so tricky because of you want to see chaos, and I'm hoping that's what we get, but sometimes you tend to see safe. And this is what's going to scare me for Dell, is that I think Lav and Tristan are going to think that Dell's going to be a good move to get out the person in the middle when they need her.
Right.
And set themselves up for failure here. So like I'm scared for this. But like if Dell, Fifi, Jason, Topher survive, like that, them 4 in the final 8, we're in for a good end game.
Oh, Boots.
Moving on. Dell, speaking of Dell, who I would just said is a target, she actually is sitting on both an idol and the chaos coin. And in this twist, if you play an idol or an advantage overall, it works on both. So if you play your idol, it doesn't matter if you're voted out of the Typhoon or the Gale, you're safe. Mm-hmm. Do you think that one of these or both of them are going to come into play this tribal council? Jose?
I would really pray for the chaos coin, because I think it would just really add on to the whole chaos of the twin urn tribal in just general. Like, okay, would it be announced what vote where the chaos coin's vote is going to?
It wouldn't matter because it
would count the vote.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the chaos coin would just be like if she feels in danger, but she doesn't exactly know her name is out. I would be like chaos coin. Because a half chance is good or better than, nothing. And then you're not wasting the idol if you're not exactly sure. But I don't know. I feel like maybe flushing it here would be safe, especially since it's a double. But that's just me.
Next.
See? I would simply not take any chances. I'm going to be so straight up honest. I think, depending on how immunity goes and what I'm hearing, I think I would play the idol. Simply because I'm not willing to risk anything with these twin urns. I'm sorry, I hate it so much. In terms of as a player, as a production and spectator, I love it, but as a player, I hate it. So I would play the idol because that is the most surefire way guarantee that I'm not going out under any circumstance. The chaos coin, there still is a risk that I land on not safe on that fucking coin. So and I could be getting votes. So I'm like, no, the idol. I would play the idol. I don't even give a shit what late-term game implications that would have for me. I'm like, I'm making it through this goddamn twin urn tribal. Like, you better know that. I'm making it to single digits, okay? Like,
right.
No. Like, but that's just me personally. I mean, ultimately, if the chaos kind works, I just would feel too antsy to take that chance. I want a 100% chance, not a 50-50 chance, but a 50% chance. So that's
remember when I had an idol and I didn't play it in a twin urn?
No. Was that Winners at War?
In what was it? It was the Winners at War season. I had the burning idol.
Oh,
or no, what was it called?
It was. I think it was.
I essentially had an idol that if I played it, I had to vote. If I didn't want to play it, I had to sacrifice my vote, and I didn't vote in that twin urn, which is ballsy. But anyways, scary as hell to play in. I wanted this back so bad. Like, I would have fought Nick on getting this back into the game. Luckily, he was like, "Yeah, okay, cool."
Yeah, no, I didn't care because I was like, "Girl, I support it. I'm here for it.
We want the chaos."
I want the
although, like, if I was Dell in this position, I would play that chaos coin to gauge, almost like do the full Rachel and like let's
Yeah.
pull it out, like say, hey, stand up, see everybody's reaction in the chat. Hope maybe there's a voice chat, who knows, but like just kind of hear everything out, play that coin and see what happens. And like I would honestly have to look into the rules myself, but like could she not play the idol if it ends up being unsafe?
Yeah. Why wouldn't she be able
So
to?
like play the chaos coin, and if it's safe, amazing, you have your idol moving forward. And if it's not, play your idol and guarantee your safety.
That would be so badass, no lie.
And hopefully it's, but yeah, I'm excited to see how this unfolds. That takes us to today. So thanks for walking through the current season's journey.
Mhm.
Next stage, we would love to hear more about the Amazon. And I know we've weaved a lot of that into the conversation already, but I know we have some specific questions from T-Spec. So I'll hand this off to Nick.
Yeah. So Jose, we've got some questions for you from Spectate and us. From Miles, what was the most difficult part for you of the Amazon?
The most difficult part of the Amazon, I would have to say definitely the swap. And that's just because me, I'm like a person who's like, I'm very bubbly, and like if you don't give me the same, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, you fucking hate me, bitch. And that, and whenever I landed on the swap, I was glad that I had Jacob. He definitely like was my grounding person throughout the whole game. I also had Jamie, and then V, who I wasn't really that close to at the time. But then I had Pixie, Ben, Damien, and Vine. And Vine, I clicked with right away. But then everybody else I tried communicating with, literally, like, it was like they didn't even want to talk to me. Like, it was like they didn't even want to put in that effort with me. And then it turned out to be true. It was Pixie had said later on at the merge after the Jamie vote, when she apologized after how all that had went down, she was like, I had did it so that she could like limit the connections she was cutting. And I was like, okay, but that means you just like were 100% that I was leaving. And I don't know why. Because you were working with people from my side. Surely you had to feel like something could have went Ari. But I don't know, just feeling, and then like I didn't have Henry or Tim's, like my old people were gone, and I had these new old people, and they were just, it was a chop.
You said these new old people? Oh my God, not you having beef with Ben and Pixie.
No, love them postseason, but during the season, I was very frustrated and upset.
That's just very honest, and I appreciate that so much. But yeah, no, I think the swap on the Amazon, I think was comparatively to the Shadowlands, both swaps and Shadowlands were kind of straightforward-esque, more so for the most part. I think the Amazon, there was so much more fluidity, especially on Iguano. I lived for it. I lived for it. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that I was rooting for your side because I wasn't rooting for your side of it. But I'm gonna be so real. Like Ben and Pixie, especially Ben was like my friend. I was like, I'm rooting for Ben right now. But honestly, y'all ate it up. I can't even lie. Y'all ate. So it was entertaining to watch, and from a viewer standpoint, it was good. So no doubt there. You made it through with ease.
Right.
We have a question from actually a fellow cast member from the
Yay!
Amazon V. What was your favorite non-game related moment and why?
Favorite non-game related moment. I mean, I guess it was kind of game moment and kind of not. I guess I have two. So it was definitely playing Fortnite with Bliss and Jacob in like the near the end game of it all. Because I really wanted to just kind of solidify that bond with Bliss because I was not that close with her at the time. And I thought since, people were going out left and right, I better have more connections than in my back pocket than just Vine. And It was really fun. I really liked it. And, we did end up having game talk as well. So it wasn't completely non-game related, but it was like a moment that I kind of just forgot about the game and got to chill out for a bit. So I liked that aspect of it.
Period. From Ian, how did it feel when Jacob completely screwed you over during the fight?
Um, okay, love Jacob. Love Jacob. Jacob is my sister, but I was so because I was let me just paint the scene for you. I was already busy in real life at this time, so I wasn't even able to like really keep on top of my social connections. I was just like, okay, this is gonna be a simple vote. We're gonna get rid of Christine. Everything's gonna be blissful. We're gonna march on forward. I was still in my mist. And then everyone's I realized, like in hindsight, nobody had really talked to me that day. And I was like, okay, work. But I remember I was getting off of work and then I checked the chat and then I go into this new alliance from Vine and I'm like, yes, we're gonna eat this up, girls. And it was like me, Vine, Jacob, and somebody else. And I'm like, yes, we're gonna eat. And then as I'm saying that, it's like 6:05, mind you. And then I realized that there's still notifications in the tribal chat. And I checked the tribal chat and I see Vine just got eliminated and I said all that. And then I'm like, oh, that's not. I literally said out loud, oh, that's really not. And then I started getting DMs. Oh no. And then you saw my reaction in chat. I was like, oh my God. My heart literally dropped in my chest because I was like, oh my God. Nobody told me. I had not a single idea this was going on. This is like I'm at the bottom. Like they're gonna get me next. I was like fuming. I was like, I thought I was doing so well. I was like, I was under the radar. Like, but I was so pissed at him that I literally wanted to cuss his ass out. And I think I did on our next VC. Um, I was like, girl, like, okay, you know what? You're playing your game, sister. Kudos to you, sister. You did that. You did that. Like in a very like bitter tone, of course. But I was like, you girl, fuck you. Like that was shitty of you. Like, bitch, I trusted you. Like, and the thing was, I would have voted Vine out. Like that was never outside of my perspective. Like I literally have emphasized this to Jacob because I knew that like people were viewing me and Vine as like a duo. And so I had always like, like I said, you have to cuddle your allies. I was always like to Jacob, like, yeah, like, because he had brought up that Vine wanted to vote Jacob out at some point, like at final six or whatever. And I was like, oh, let's get him. Like straight up, like let's get him. And um just to have all that happen, I was like, okay, so then either he just didn't believe anything I had said to him or anything like that. And then Tim and Henry, I was like, oh, shady boots. At that point, I was like, I'm getting every single one of them out of this game if it kills me. And then
And it killed you.
Yeah, it killed me. It definitely killed me. Um, but I was like, even though this happened, I literally still have to stick with Jacob. And thank God I did. I love Jacob so much. He is so, so sweet. Texts me to this day, Henry, Tim, all of them. But I was like, I really need Jacob in this moment at the game if I need to go further. And then Bliss at that point, we were playing Fortnite. I was like, we got this, and we didn't got it. But
still, the move I don't understand is that final seven, like Bliss and Jacob voting Vine out just to then try to vote out Tim. Like, what?
Yeah.
They really said agency. Who's that? What?
Like, I know Tim was immune at the Vine vote, but like, it made no sense thinking that they were going to go 3-on-3 out of final six.
Yeah.
But anyways,
love them all though.
Love them all. Okay. What would you distinguish as your fatal flaw in the Amazon?
I'd say again, love them, but in a game perspective, I'd say it'd be clinging as close to my relationships as I did. I think it was more of like a double-edged sword for me, because not only did like, my infamous Princess Mafia game, it got me, all the way to fifth place, but I also was before any of like the blindsiding or anything like that, I was fully prepared to take, I think, at least one of them to the end with me, if not Jacob or Henry. And I think, obviously knowing the jury's perspective and Henry's badass game, I was obviously going to lose. But I think if I had distanced myself a little bit more from those relationships, which I don't regret now because I love them and they are really, really great people. But in a game perspective, I think it kind of shot me in the foot a little bit. But and then I got
At
looped
Final
in
Five.
with sorry.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
Sorry. And then I got looped in as like a kind of like Jacob's sidekick a little bit, like the kind of like the foil to like Henry and Tim. Um, and I kind of wish I was able to stand out more in a way that like I was making moves, but I also didn't really have a lot of agency to make moves. But then I'm hearing people are like, you know, socializing in VCs for like hours on hours. And I'm like, girl, I get off of work at 6 p.m. Like, and I talk to my boyfriend at 10 p.m. Like 4 hours is not a lot to do. I gotta cook food, I gotta clean my room. Like, maybe if I had more availability, I think I could have been a lot of a stronger social player than I was doing at the time. But
well, going off
at
that,
Final Five.
Oh,
sorry. Would Joseph, at Final Five, when you voted with Bliss, like, was there any chance, and did you communicate with Christine? Like, would Christine have voted out? Or who was available at that one? Tim?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, once Jacob got out, I was like, okay, I'm definitely next. So whatever I do, I need to make sure that I do it. And so I was like, it's either me, Bliss, or one of them. And I'm like, the only person I think should know anything in regards to like what we need to do moving forward is Christine, because in my mind, Christine, well, obviously in everyone's mind, Christine was not winning next to Henry or Tim. And I was just so confused as to why she couldn't see that. And I literally went in her DM and I was like, Christine, sister, I know, like, I literally laid everything on the table. I was like, I know we've had our differences in the past. Like, I know we voted against each other, but I'm telling you, we need to vote Tim out or else they are literally just going to win this game. I had pleaded with her, I practically begged, and I thought she was biting because she was like texting me, and then Tim and Henry were like texting me, asking me like what I was hearing and stuff like that, and I knew Christine was not texting them because of how long she takes to type, and I knew she wasn't texting me and someone else at the same time, and so then after I was like, can we please, please, please just vote Tim? And then I'm telling Henry and Tim, can we please just vote Christine? Please just vote Christine, because I'm just doing anything I can at that point. And I think once Christine stopped messaging me back, I already knew I was the vote. And Henry had messaged me. He was like, had started typing this thing and he didn't send it until the vote started to be read and I knew I was out. Yeah.
It's so wild that Christine, like, you obviously laid the groundwork and like had them, because Christine voted for Henry. So like they eventually figured out, like, so obviously what you were saying probably sunk in with her, but it was too late. So good for you for at least making that push.
You tried, Diva. You tried.
Thank you.
Would you ever return to play?
Oh, Boots, I am just waiting. I'm literally waiting next to my phone right now with the ringer off. Like, I'm ready. And I'm ready. And even if I would prefer to come back away from any of my main alliance just for the storyline of it all.
Mm-hmm.
But
you don't want this Kyle return with your top two allies?
well, yes. But yeah, I'm ready. Anytime y'all want me, I'm ready.
Okay.
Interesting. Don't deny anything now.
Do you have any questions?
Love to know that you're interested, though.
Right. Do you have any questions for us before we move on?
What has been the best part about hosting both the Amazon and the Shadowlands? So it's 2 questions for both of you.
I think, like, obviously Jason and I were on production for the latter half of Suitman's. Or I guess latter quarter of Suitman's, but yeah, I think being able to rebrand and kind of do this in the same server, but come up with new ways to keep things fresh and exciting has been really fun. Obviously the Amazon was kind of like testing the waters and seeing like what worked, what didn't work, getting through the kinks. And I think the Shadowlands is still partially that, but it's been really fun to be able to make a season so early in this new series, and like us be like, and get to do it with my closest friend on Discord, to like really make a season like that and have it be running pretty smoothly so far. So yeah, I mean, it's been a good time, and just kind of being able to kind of continue on in Discord doing production stuff, even though we're both really busy, has been kind of really fun and exciting
Right.
to continue building this community and having new fresh faces like yourself that stick around and actually participate and engage. That's been so delightful to have. So that's me at least. But Jason, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think getting to like start fresh has been really great, and like we kind of can do whatever the hell. Like, not that we couldn't do that on Suitman's as well, but like it just feels like we're kind of creating something brand new. Like it's the new era, but way better, not shitty. But anyways, but no, my favorite thing for sure though has been like it's feels like it's a amalgamation of Suitmans and new players that are coming in to this.
Mm,
Like getting to see some old school players compete in the Amazon and Shadowlands. But like most of our Amazon players that have continued on into the server and been very active members of T-Specs are the ones that weren't here before. So like having you, Jacob, Henry, Tim, Damien has been really active too. Like it's been really great to have
right.
some fresh new blood interested and engaged. And like even the way that we're doing this podcast this season and bringing you all in one at a time to kind of talk about the previous, like, I don't know, I feel like we've kind of ironed out a lot of the things that we were working on Suitmans, and it's really exciting to see this group grow.
Yeah.
And then I have one more question for you guys.
Yes.
Um, Out of the 2 seasons of Prestige so far, have there been any players that remind you of your own runs in Suitmans?
Oh,
Oh,
a good question.
that is such a good question.
That's like an excellent question. I'm like, you gagged me right there. Oh shit. I mean, honestly, I think. Oh my god, this like actually gagged me. Hold on.
I
Wait.
should have wrote it
Clearly
down for
for
you
me, it's
guys.
Henry because as a winner of the season, it's obvious that we were so dominant.
Oh, choke. Just choke. I never won. I played 3 times, made merge every time, and never won. I'm trying to think. Fuck, this is difficult. Damn you. I guess I'll go from the Amazon, and I will say probably someone like maybe Bliss or Vine, in that like my social game, more so Bliss probably.
Right.
Minus the drinking. Minus the drinking. Love my girl Bliss
No
down.
more DUIs, sister. No more
No
DUIs.
more DUIs. She got DUI.
No, I'm
Oh my
kidding.
god.
Wait, maybe.
I didn't think she
I
did,
think
so I'm not. I'm not saying
she got
about
one
that.
during the season.
Did not know that anyway. Jose, you're just spilling all of our tea.
No,
Right
she
now.
said it in the chat. She said it in the chat. I swear I'm not leaking my sister.
Anyway, but no, I would say like definitely having like a strong social game, being kind of unafraid to argue with people publicly, even though it may not be the best thing for your game.
Right.
But I think similarly to Bliss, I had a situation in which I was trying to make moves at the wrong time that cost me the game, essentially. So that's what I would say Bliss.
Very bliss coded.
Very Bliss coded. But yeah, no, I did not win, unlike Jason. Fuck you. But yeah, so. But that was a great that actually gagged me how good of a question that was.
That is. I still don't even have an answer because I don't know. Like I feel like yes, I won the game, but I did not have a dominant game like Henry. I feel like usually when I play, it's like underestimated, like how much I feel like I can win the game at Final Tribal Council by explaining these are the moves that I made that you might not have known. Where like Henry, it was obvious.
Right.
Yeah, Jason was very Christine coded.
What's that?
You're very Christine coded.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
From first boot for fourth place, period.
It would have almost been like, oh, it's hard. It would have been like if Tim had won, but I wasn't even like a challenge beast. I was like, that was I don't know if there's a player that I can relate to really yet. Anyways, like there's potential for some players this season, but it really depends on how their end game goes. Like if they completely fall apart, I don't know.
Right, you need like a bigger roster.
Yeah, because like I feel very similar to your game when Jacob like backstabbed you. Like I was backstabbed in my first season and but I didn't like unlike you, I did not rekindle that. I was like, oh, Final Four, peace. Like I'll go to fire with you. I'll go to rocks with you. Like I'm voting you out. Like you tried to get me out. Fuck you.
Right.
He said, "I will heal in hell, bitch."
Although Jacob didn't vote for you, so I guess that's a little different. So yeah,
Right.
that's a tough one. I need more on this season to find out.
Work.
I know lame
Thank you.
answer. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
All right, Jason, care to take it away?
Yeah, let's look forward as we wrap up this podcast. So looking ahead, how do you see things playing out? Like,
Is that for me?
yes,
Yes.
that's for you.
Oh, honestly, with this the twin earn tribal, I think we're gonna definitely see at least one power player go home. Um, Depending on immunity, I think. I think now is going to be a time that people are probably going to make a move, especially since the names have been there. They've always been there. Well, for the past few rounds, they've been there. Yeah, I think either maybe Fifi or Dell could be in trouble, which I don't think would be optimal for my faves. But yeah, that's what I see so far.
And who would you say, if you had to look in the mirror, right, like the magic ball here, like who's the final three in your opinion?
Oh,
Um, I would say Topher. Ooh, I really want to say Dell or Fifi. Dell. I'm gonna say Dell. And Frazier. Frasher.
Fracture.
Nick,
I'm gonna go for
your final
like
three.
a major background character, Spencer. I'm gonna go with Dell because manifestation.
Right.
Um, and then for the third spot, I would probably say, oh God, this is a hard one. Fuck. I'm gonna go with Jason. Why not?
Work.
Interesting. I feel like we have a bit of the mix. I'm gonna say Jason as well, just because I think they're gonna clock Topher and get him out first. So that'll let Jason sneak through. And I'm so worried about the people that are like kind of the front runners. Like Spencer is very high on a lot of people's trust rankings, but nobody is like Spencer's the threat. So Spencer,
Right.
Jason, and I want it to be Dell, but I just don't see the three of them making it. I feel like it's going to be Tristan sneaking in at the end.
Well, I could see Tristan going this round. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go Spencer, Jason, and Gersh.
Oh.
Work.
I feel like not the final three that I necessarily want. It's just the one that I think is going to get through. But anyways, moving on. Jose, who do you think is in the best spot to win the game?
I saw this question and I was like really, really thinking about it. And I'm not just doing this for the running joke of it all, but Frazier, actually. And this is just looking at chess rankings. He is really, really good with both Spencer and Dell, who are high with everybody else. And I feel like that could be really good leverage if he uses it properly. But then you have to worry about the power players as well, which I mean, I guess they are power players. I mean, in a way, he's kind of insulated, you know? Or am I
Yeah,
misreading?
he's definitely not. No, I think you're right. I don't think anybody's got them as like an immediate target.
True.
So yeah.
Yep.
Nick?
Um, hold on.
And why is it loud?
I love Lav, but like no, I don't see it. I don't know that the jury would also see it either, to be honest.
That's actually a good point. Like, Jose, do you think Fraser getting to the end, like, will Fraser get the respect of the jury?
Um, if the people he's been making moves with are like a few, if they're not there, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the defining thing. It's like, will that happen? But who's to say? Um, you know what? I'm gonna say Shep. I think probably Gersh. So for like people that are kind of lower to middle to lower pack, simply because I think that like they could potentially sneak through, and if they are able to get out the people that they've been working with that are close to them, that's the defining factor. If they're able to chop the heads off of the quote unquote front runners, but they're still there and also made the moves and also made those moves, I think that could really benefit them. So I would say one of those two. I also am obviously hoping Del or Fifi succeed as well because love them both. But yeah.
Right.
And I'm going to put my money on Jason. I do think Jason's a major character for sure in this game, but I do think that the others are going to see Topher, Fifi, and Del as bigger threats. And that's how Jason's going to sneak to the end. And then I think Jason's going to at least have a story to tell the jury, and they'll respect it. Other than Vince.
Right.
See?
So yeah. So we've got Thrasher, Gersh, and Jason. Love it. That's all the questions I have for today.
Work.
Okay. Final thoughts before we close today. I will start with Jason on this question.
I am just excited. I think we've lost a couple of big players in the last two Trouble Councils, but we have some big names to go. And I'm just excited for this touchy subjects reveal and going into the Twin Urns. Like, this is going to make or break this season. And if Del, Fifi, Jason, Topher can get through this and be in the final 8, I think we're in for a really fun final 8 moving forward.
Oh, for sure.
Jose?
Yeah, I was just agreeing. I think definitely with the Twin Urns and touchy subjects being on the same round, it's definitely going to lead to a lot of mess and people having their feelings hurt. I think just in general, with the whole Takore twist, it leads to a bit of a like safe pre-merge where not a lot is really happening, but that dispels for an exciting merge, and I've been seeing that. And so I'm just kind of excited to see where things go. There's a lot of like big players, like you said, still in the game. And I feel like it's going to be a battle of who can take control, and we're starting to see that now.
Very good.
Nicholas?
I think we're in for a good remainder of the season, honestly. Like, I think it started out maybe a bit slower than we liked, but I think that we're being set up for a lot of these people to fall, and just there to be a lot of, obviously, but like a lot of people that, you know, may or may not be front runners may fall earlier than later. I'm excited to see whether or not the people that are fitting in the background more so are able to turn that around. And either way, I think it's going to be a fucking bloodbath, but it's just a matter of who goes when. So I'm excited to see the way it plays out. I'm hoping it's exciting. I'm hoping people find more shit on the board, because God help us, for fuck's sake. We put so much shit on this fucking board this season and there's still nothing. But yeah, so we'll see. But time will tell, I guess. But for now,
there's one on the board that I want to see so bad. If it doesn't get valid, I'm going to cry. Because somebody else is going to take it in the future season, and they're going to think it's their idea, and it's not. Smile.
We will literally correct it otherwise. So, but anyway, but yeah, I'm hoping that we find more Time shall tell. Look broader, people. Stop looking in the same fucking places. Jesus Christ.
Communicate. Talk to your allies. Jesus Christ.
No, I don't understand why they don't do the pinpoint. I feel like that's like the best way to like just fully mark off a spot. Of course, it's time consuming, but work with other people. Like we can all pinpoint something.
The bottom line is do something. That's the thing.
The worst part was like I can't remember who found it, but somebody found like nothing in row A, but they didn't tell very many people, obviously, because then everybody's searching row A, like the next episode.
Oh
like
my
motherfuckers.
Like you stupid bitch.
Why can't you leak that? Why do you have to leak everything else, Tyler?
Yeah, right. Definition of you had one job, bitch. Anyway, but that's all we've got for today. I want to thank Jason for joining me once again and hosting with me, and also for Jose for making your podcast debut. We're so happy to have you on. It's been incredible having you. And I'm just happy to see you in the community and stick around. So please stick around.
Thank you. Thank you. I have no plans on leaving, so get a little pallet and a pillow ready.
Good. You heard it here first. Jose is staying.
Yay, we all will.
Right.
Thank you so much for joining us.
But for now, we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.